What up? This is your boy Doughboy,
What up? I'm Triune.
and this is another installment of the Doughboy 2.0 show. This is my good friend Triune. We'll get into all of that. But if you guys haven't already, please like the video, share the video, comment on the videos,
Yeah.
subscribe, make sure you get all the notifications so we can keep it going. Now, today, depending on when we put this up, I put this up Thursday or Friday, whatever. It wasn't on Wednesday, right? That's when I normally drop the podcast, but there was a good reason, and you might be hearing it. My good friend Triune, I was able to go to his home, and he got my whole sound set up. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, anytime, brother.
So, for my audience that doesn't know you, because there might be some people that were here that seen the new normal, but the new normal is no longer. So why don't you let them know a brief synopsis about who you are, where you come from, and all that good stuff, young brother?
All right, I'm from the IE, Inland Empire, Southern California suburb of LA. I guess I'm a lot of things, man. I'm a rapper, I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, and a host of other shit. So
Podcaster,
yeah, podcaster.
father,
Father, fiance.
right.
I dibble and dabble in a lot of shit, man.
Right. And this is what I want to get into with you. I mean, and we're just having this a good conversation here on the Doughboy 2.0 show. You might just get me talking by myself about a myriad of things. But whenever I, interview a guest, I want to just have a deep dive into what they do and what they're all about. So with that being said, Triune, you have a lot of different business ventures. First off, why don't you just let them know about, a couple of your business ventures, some of the things that you're proud of. Just let them know about some of the type of different businesses that you have.
Yeah, so I own and operate a digital marketing agency by the name of Uno Marketing. I own a barbershop called Kicks and Cuts. It's in Fontana, California. Starting a coffee company called the Culture Coffee Company. We're opening our first location in Las Vegas this year.
Okay.
And also a wine company that I'm getting off the ground. It's called Soulborn, but we will be introducing at least one bottle of wine this year for sure.
Now, see, that's very, very interesting to me because you're a relatively young man. You're, mid late 30s. I don't know if you like to give out your
I'm 39. I'm not.
39.
I'm
Okay.
not those guys.
You're not one of those guys.
No, I'm 39. I absolutely dye my beard sometimes. Like,
you ever meet them people that give you their Hollywood age versus their real age? It's like, well, how ridiculous must you be?
Hey, that's like an old school thing. If you were a celebrity in the 90s and the 80s before the internet was a thing, then yeah, you could lie about your age and get away with it back then. But today, nah, with the internet, you're not getting away with it.
But see, I never understood. I guess maybe I understood it when I was younger. What is the big knock on getting old? Ain't that the goal, to get old and progress and to do other things? Why do we ridicule the old?
Listen, man, my 30s were way better than my 20s.
Were they?
And yeah.
We're gonna talk about that, but okay, I don't want to get off the point of what I was asking in reference to your age. Let's take it back.
40s, I think, are gonna be better in my 30s.
We're gonna talk about the 40s and the 30s in a minute. But tell me this: you're in your late 30s, 39 to be exact. When did you start your first business, and how did you learn how to do this? I've never started a business. When did you start your first business? Like, tell the people out there, because when you say that to me, it almost feels like you're talking a foreign language. Because if somebody said, Doughboy, go start a business right now, I would not know what to do. I'm a great worker, but I don't know how to have a boss state of mind. Like, how would a person, first of all, tell me your first business that you started, and then let the cats know how they can get into starting their own businesses.
So although I wouldn't call this necessarily a business, it was by, I guess, definition. But I'll tell you how my first foray started. So in the 2000s, the way that I used to supplement my rap income was I was a real estate agent. I used to do refinances and sell homes and shit like that.
Okay.
It was a great way for me to make a lot of money, but also not have to invest a ton of time.
Now, getting into real estate, do you have to have a lot of capital to start? Do you have to have 20, 30 grand just laying around?
No. I got into that later on into being in real estate a little bit before the crash, but in 2008, the crash in 08, right? But I had a unique opportunity to get a really, really, really high commission with a broker that was a brother of the guy that got me into the real estate business.
Okay.
So everybody knows, like, in the real estate business, you're not hired. Like, they don't, you know what I'm saying? You don't get a check every 2 weeks or every week,
Right.
and nothing like that. Like, you get paid on commission based on what you're producing. So the brother of the guy that got me into the business, he asked me to come over and start working with him, and he offered me an insane commission rate, something that nobody gets, bro.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, fuck yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So my first year rocking with him, I did pretty well.
Okay.
And then my second year, I bumped into some guy that I was trying to, like, get business from. And he was into, like, you know, he's basically like a CPA. So he knew.
And what is a CPA? I don't know what that is.
Talk like
to me like I'm a child.
It's like a person that does taxes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And knows, like, you know, how to file, like, business filings and shit like that.
Okay.
So we got to talking, and he asked me how I was getting paid and what my the tax rates that I was paying. So I told him. He was like, "You're a fool." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You're an absolute fucking idiot."
And this is about 12 years ago that you're learning this information.
No, this is about 16 years ago. I'm learning this information.
Gotcha. Okay.
17 years ago.
Okay.
So he's like, "You're a fucking idiot." And at this point, I'm not knowing whether I should slap this nigga in the face.
Because he's talking real greasy.
He's super greasy, like, and he's kind of looking down at me. And so he was like, "You made whoop-de-wop, and you know, your tax rate you're paying is insane. You have to be an idiot."
So was he saying you were paying too much taxes?
Precisely. Okay. So he was like, "If you're getting paid this, then why don't you give them a W-9 with your corporate information on it, and and open an LLC and open a bank account and run all your money through there and this and and he's basically just running the whole game down to me." And I'm like, "All right, well, how do I do that?" He's like, "Here's my card, kid. Fucking call me."
You're crazy, kid.
Yeah. So I called him and I went down to his office and I heard everything he had to say and I took notes on everything and I followed it. And so that's when I started my first LLC, like my first company.
And what is an LLC? I keep hearing it, LLC. See, I don't know.
Like a limited liability corporation.
So that means that you can start a business that limits your liability on what happens to it, but you own and operate it?
Yeah, if you have it structured that way. It all depends on how you take income from the business. But
so you start your first LLC, and what business was this? Like, how do you choose what you want to start a business on? Because all the different businesses you seem to be aligned in some way. Like, you know, you have your music stuff, and then you also have a barbershop that kind of has, that kind of it's like you have it split. It's a barbershop and it's a sneaker store, which also kind of plays into the culture. And then the copy stuff. So what has to excite you to even want to start a business? And then walk me through that first one that you started.
I just have to have a passion around it. Okay. Like every business book I've ever read said, pick something that you're passionate about and you're passionate about and you're good at, and find a way to make money at it. Okay. So that's what I did. I've always been passionate about the barbershop and what it meant to the community.
And what exactly do you feel like the barbershop means to the community?
I think that what the barbershop gives Black men especially is a place to have an unfiltered conversation. And it's also a place where you meet people in your community. People have become lifelong friends by meeting each other at the barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And the connection that you build with your barber, it's a unique connection. So that's the reason why I chose a barbershop, and I chose it to put it in the neighborhood in which I was pretty much raised in. That's right next to my old high school.
Nice. Okay.
So, and then the shoe store, well, I'm a sneakerhead. Everybody knows me, knows I'm a sneakerhead. I've slowed down on the spending on sneakers like exponentially because I have a store now.
Right.
And I don't need the fucking flex on niggas if you have.
I get them before you guys get them, guys.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just fuck you. I have my own store. I don't need the flex on niggas with the new Yeezys and shit.
Right.
But niggas know like my collection and my library is pretty good. I'm not saying I'm one of the greatest, but I'm saying I have a pretty dope collection.
Yo, your shoe collection is pretty dope. The only nigga that I think I would put you second to the of niggas that I actually know is probably Conceited. And that's just because Khan just, I think at this point he's just getting sponsored. Like I don't feel like he's bought any sneakers in about 5 years.
So Conceited will fucking sleep on someone's couch and have the flyest fucking shit.
Absolutely.
Like, that nigga
Jimmy Shootron. Shout out to Khan.
Shout out to Conceited, man. He'll fucking live and die for the fucking fashion. That's what he does. I'm not that far, but I have a dope library. So it made sense to do both. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like those communities are very similar. Like the barbershop community, the guys that go out and they get they make sure they edge ups is right and they make sure they fades is tight. Those are the same guys that want dope sneakers.
Yeah, because you got it. They're synonymous with each other. Because they wash each other away if you don't have both.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand? Like you can have a fresh ass cut with some busted kicks, they're gonna laugh at you. You can have some fresh kicks with no haircut, they're gonna laugh at you. Exactly. You need both in unison.
You need both. So that was kind of the reason for that. The marketing shit, I just wanted to always learn how to get the ball rolling as far as business is concerned. Like, I mean, it's one thing.
So take me back to the first business you actually started. So first business, what year was it? What went on in your mind? So you talked to your man, your CPA.
So it was 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And it was called Uno Financial.
Okay.
And it was basically just how I was accepting payments for the real estate transactions I was doing.
Okay.
So I was accepting payments and I was able to like create a business account and all my expenses ran through that business account. So I paid like my rent through that business account. I paid my car payment through the business account.
So walk me through. So that's the thing, because I keep hearing about things like that. So when you have these corporations, you get checks and stuff and you pay everything through there. So none of it is on your personal side.
Right. Okay. And so when I handed in my paperwork to my tax guy, he was like, yeah, so you owe this amount. And that amount was way less than I ever thought that I would pay in taxes.
And is this because you get to write everything off? It's like if me and you go to lunch and we're talking about a project, write that off. That's a business meeting.
Correct. To a certain degree. I mean, I won't say that I'm not going to try to, lead people in the wrong direction.
Right. But there's just more things you can write off as a business owner versus a regular. Because from what I've heard from different people that are in business, that you can write off gas to get you places. If I'm a comedian and I got to get an outfit, that's part of my job because I need, so there's different things that you can write off. So is that the reason why the taxes came down so low, because you were writing off many more things?
Yeah, I'm writing off a lot more because a lot more becomes a business expense. And so that was kind of my first understanding as how that even just affected you, like from a tax standpoint. Not really like business, but then I was in marketing and I had jobs like high level marketing jobs and shit.
Okay.
And naturally, when people know that you're in marketing, they want you to market their product that they're trying to get off the ground and shit. So I would start, and then also people leave companies that you work for and they go elsewhere and then they start referring you because they knew that you were good where you worked at together. So naturally, you're gonna get business on the side. I started getting so much business on the side. I was like, yo, I have to put this under a company. This isn't gonna make sense.
Okay.
So then I started Uno Marketing. And then in 2014, I got divorced.
Okay.
So I knew in my divorce, because of how things were structured, I was gonna have to be there for my kids in a way that most fathers typically don't have to be. So that's when I decided that I was gonna just do Uno Marketing full time.
So that's when you left the plantation, so to speak, and you started your own thing.
That part.
Okay.
I mean, that plantation was paying me like crazy though.
Now, was that scary? Because I know a lot of people have fear because it seems like there's more security with a 9 to 5 job that might be, you know, giving you that security blanket that you need, especially with children. So were you afraid like going into that? Because your children were relatively young at this point. So was there any fear?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, it isn't a worthwhile journey if there isn't some hesitation. Like you can't, you have to have some hesitation in what it is that you're doing, because anything that brings back a lot takes like a pretty big risk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you got to risk some to get some back.
Let me ask you this too. I definitely agree with the, you know, the risk and the reward part of it. Let me ask you this though, because you have multiple businesses and some of your businesses are tied to your creative outlets, you know. So do you ever have to, you know, be careful on how you delegate time to your businesses? Because like, for instance, I love to rap, right? If I got access to a bunch of money because I have different businesses, the artist in me may want to be like, okay, I got $2 million of liquid funds through all these businesses. I need to put 1.8 into an album that's going to change the world. But that might not be smart because I might neglect all these other sound businesses. So do you ever like come to the point where you have to pick logic over creativity and be like, I think I love this as an artist, but my business acumen tells me the money is better spent here? Like, do you ever come to those type of conflicts?
Of course, everything is in priority, and the priority is the dollar amount. So that's why I only drop an album every 2 years, and that's why you may only get scattered singles throughout the year. And I don't drop mixtapes, and I'm not rapping in your face all the time. I don't have time to. This isn't something that I don't desire. I absolutely desire to rap as much as I can. I really enjoy this shit, and I feel like I'm getting better with age. So,
yo, I feel like that too. I wrote something the other night. I was like, I wasn't writing like this back in the day.
Yeah, I'm getting better. I wrote some shit the other day. I got a new single coming out soon, and I just finished that shit. And I was like,
what's the name of the single, Try? I want to know. What's the name of the single?
Oh, Concrete Rose.
Concrete Rose. How'd you come up with that name, and what's the record about?
Um,
Without giving away too much. Because that sounds like a powerful title. That doesn't sound like you're rapping about some bullshit cars and rims and hoes. Where'd you come with that title?
So I got the record with the hook on it.
Okay.
So the artist kind of killed the hook, and I followed the subject matter, and basically it's just about coming from hard beginnings and kind of getting to a good place. And the way that I infused myself into it was talking about kind of my family's journey from Guatemala and Honduras, like coming from third world countries and getting to America and having to establish yourself here and having families and kids and shit. And I'm a product of that. And like, kind of having to pick up all the pieces of home and come to a whole new land and reestablish. So
wow. Yeah. I want to dive deeper into that a little bit later, because that must be a culture shock. So have you lived outside of the country before? Like, have you lived over?
No. I'm a product of it. Yeah. Okay. I got people from over there. I'm a product of it. I'm a first generation American.
Got you. You know what's dope about what you just said though? And then we can hop back to business after this. But I think it's dope how the record that you're talking about, like, I'm like, hey, how'd you come up with that? You're like, yo, I got the record, had the hook on it. Don't you think that's really dope how just collaborating with other artists is dope like that? Like, you could hear what they kind of put in their head, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna go this route, and now look what we got. Like, talk to me more like a little bit like about your creative experiences and collaborations, like, or you could even speak to like how you and EQ work, because I think you guys work really well as well.
Yeah, man. I think I'm past the point of like I have to do everything and write everything. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I'm a purist from the sense of every bar you've ever heard me spit, I wrote.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to hooks and shit, and it comes to concepts and stuff, sometimes someone else has a better idea. And it's okay to accept that as an artist. Like I think the best artists that we know and love understand this.
Absolutely.
And, so I get a good idea from someone else and they're willing to share it or they're willing to sell it, I'll absolutely buy it or take the share and put, infuse my real reality self into it and make a dope record. Absolutely.
Nah, see, and it's really big that you said. I wish more artists thought like that. You know why? Because a lot of times it's like always the same things. Like you kind of said, like the artist feels like they have to do everything. So I even think like with like street rap, because I love street rap, right? Like I feel like the thing that kind of draws you is the person's persona, right? Or what the things they built, they've been through, are they real? But like the gangsters and the killers that I know, a lot of times they can't really rap. They're just gangsters and killers. So I would think in my mind, why wouldn't it make better sense to find the guy that maybe has the look, the musical talent, and then you maybe have the gangster dude consult with him, like these are the things I went through, and then you create this thing that I think is a more collaborative thing, but that never happens, and I wish that it could, because
I mean, it's just not as exciting.
Because you want that authenticity, right?
Hey, look, man, at the end of the day, if we keep it at 100, Eazy-E was way more exciting than Dre and Cube and Red.
He was, and he
was.
And so they had, you're right, that was like the first sample size of that, because he was really the street nigga.
He was a street nigga,
right?
That was really out there doing what the fuck Cube wrote. Like what Cube wrote, he was doing for real.
Right.
And
no, I never thought about that.
He just the authenticity that came off of him.
Because he was really living that shit.
He was really living that shit. Even if he wasn't living it when we heard it, we knew that he had lived this. Yes. So Eazy-E, the authenticity that came off of what he said just was more exciting.
It was.
So the gangster, even though the gangster may not be the better rapper, the gangster is absolutely the better star, the better artist.
See, and I think I wish that we can get more of that, because I mean, I think about that sometimes. Like, man, what if NWA would have stayed together for a couple more albums? What if everybody could have just sunk into their role? They were like the Thunder. Like Dr. Dre was James Harden. Like,
but you know what though? There's this too. So if NWA stays together for a couple more albums, we may not get Snoop Dogg. We may not,
and we might not have got and we definitely wouldn't have got no Vaseline.
Yeah, we wouldn't have got no Vaseline. We may not have got America's Most. We might
not have got Eminem.
That's a fact.
I want to talk about that. Okay, so
we may not have got Tupac.
You're right.
Like repping the West like that. That may not have been a thing.
It may not have. Okay, but this, okay. And we're going to be all over the place in this conversation.
Yeah,
we're not going to stick on one thing. We're going to talk. When did hip hop turn on Eminem? Because I feel like this has been kind of brewing for a couple years, but motherfuckers have been jumping out. Snoop is jumping out the window, and now more niggas are starting to be like, I ain't never really rock with dude. When did this happen?
Look, I just had this conversation with a homie of mine.
Okay.
And I don't understand it either. I don't get how. I just don't understand why right? So Eminem has consistently represented the culture and represented it well.
Right.
And represented it well when Black folks were around and when Black folks weren't around. Eminem has always been an ally. Eminem has always known his place. He's never called himself the GOAT. He's never called himself top anything other than one line. You know, Reggie.
Has he always been an ally? Was he an ally when he was talking crazy about black girls on those records back in the day?
So this is how I reconcile that. I'm not saying everybody can, and I recognize that shit. But me, he was a 16-year-old kid, bro, when them tapes were recorded.
Oh.
Okay. Look, man, if you
say less. I didn't know he was 16.
Yeah, kid. Is there a white person in the country that has not uttered those words at some point?
Is there not a person that was 16, period, that said some dumb shit? I didn't know he was that young. Okay.
Yeah, he was 16 when these tapes were recorded, bro. So I can't 100% hold him to a 16-year-old's decision for the rest of his life.
You're right. I didn't know he was that young. Okay, I got you.
Since 1998, when I was introduced to him, he's represented the culture correct, whether it was in our faces or not. He has been a consummate ally. He's put on our colored people, and he's been nothing but supportive. And I just don't understand. Like, I get it. If you don't really rock with his music, like, I keep it 100. I don't listen to Eminem all the time.
That's the thing that everybody keeps saying. So that's the thing I kind of want to tackle. It's like everybody says he's great. And then you'd be like, well, when was the last time you bumped an Eminem song? They'd be like, nigga, it's been years. So who's listening to this shit?
White folks is listening to this shit. We're asking niggas this. We not asking white folks about that shit. His record, look, man, the streaming numbers that he does, these shits ain't fake. The nigga's really getting to it.
Do you even have?
He's platinum every time.
Do you even have an Eminem album in your top 10 albums of all time? What's your favorite Eminem album?
Oh, Marshall Mathers LP.
I like Slim Shady MP. I feel like he rapped his ass off.
I feel like the Marshall Mathers shit. But I mean, but once again, I just don't understand. Look, if his music doesn't have replay value, say that. Right. But don't discredit the fact that this man.
He's dope. No, I'm with you. Like I rock with him. I just don't understand why it's starting to seem like the culture doesn't.
He's a super spitter. Like
he spits.
I mean, come on, man. Whether he's talking about killing his moms or killing his baby moms or whoever he's talking about, if you technically look at the ability of rapping that he's doing, come on. How could
I don't know that he makes. Maybe he's just a really good rapper that doesn't make great records. But does he have any hit records? Does Eminem have a hit record?
Eminem have a hit record?
Does he have? No. I know he streams well.
Are you serious right now?
I'm saying, look, listen to the question. I know that he sells and streams well. I know he sold 1 million copies in a week. I'm okay. I get that. Does he have a hit record? When I say hit record in the club, does he have got Black and Yellow? Does he have a big hit that was unanimous across the board? You heard in the whips in the summertime. I don't know what it was real Slim Shady's Please Stand Up. Maybe is his biggest hit. What's his biggest hit? What is his biggest hit?
I mean, are you forgetting I Am? Are you forgetting
I Am wasn't a hit record?
And I Am. Are you forgetting the shit off of the soundtrack?
Lose Yourself. But was that a hit record?
Are you forgetting the Superman? Are you forgetting?
Was that a hit record though?
Bruh, this man damn near went diamond twice, my nigga.
See, I think that you're leaning too heavily on his catalog and his sales. I'm just saying, has he had a hit record? Has he had
but sales are what indicate a hit record, right?
No, yeah.
I mean, how else do we quantify it? If there's another way, I'm interested.
I just don't know that he has. For one, I don't understand why the culture seems to be turning on him, and for two, I kind of understand what they're saying because when I'm saying he don't have no hit records, like he's just like, I don't know if you could play any Eminem song for the average rap fan. They're gonna be like, oh shit. Like, what record does he have that does that?
I disagree with that.
And you're referencing records like Superman and I Am and
yeah, I think these are iconic records for sure.
What do you feel like his biggest record to date is? Mainstream.
Lose Yourself.
What's his biggest single?
Lose Yourself. The shit won an Oscar.
I guess I just have to look at it differently. All right, this is something that we were talking
about. Not saying I listen to M all the time. I want to be clear about that. I'm not being a hypocrite here.
Right.
I'm saying.
Is he in your top 5?
Top 10 for sure.
I don't think he's in your top 10.
He's in my top 10 for sure. No question.
He's in your top 10 for sure?
I can't name 10 MCs better than Eminem. And I'm talking about, I mean, basically all categories. The only category that Eminem does not stand up to is when you talk about replay value. That's the only category. Every other category.
Ain't that the most important album? I was just listening to Blueprint the other day and was like, Jesus, this is a great album. That's a 20-year-old album.
I mean, but do you discount like Rakim and Eric B? Like, when's the last time you listened to Pagan Fool? Or like,
I was never a huge Eric B. Rakim fan, but I listen to old Ice Cube.
I mean, you listen to America's Most all the time.
I just listened to Bird in the Hand on the way to your house today.
All right, well, I mean,
literally,
I just have guys that I absolutely am super fans of, like Method Man. Right. I'm a super fan of Method Man. I don't listen to Method Man all the time, though.
Would you
but that doesn't discount who he is in this culture, though.
Did you see him in that math? Did you see him in the math battle?
Bruh.
I loved it.
Fuego. I got the meth, man.
Loved it. So let me talk to you about this. You said this a little bit earlier. I want to go back to it. You're saying that you feel like your 40s are going to be better than your 30s.
Oh, facts. No question.
And so 40s better than 20s too?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So let's go back to 20s. What did your 20s consist of? My 20s consisted of halfway through it, had a kid at 26. And the first 6 years of my 20s was just me running around trying to figure out life. And then I found out that I wanted to do comedy at 26 when Kiara was born. So I kind of like found out where I was going. The next 10 years was me applying everything that I was doing and becoming a dad and all those, and then making some changes about myself. So I definitely feel like this decade of my life is going to be the best. But walk me through your path and why you feel like the 40s are going to be the shit.
I mean, my 20s was just a tornado of trying to figure shit out and failing over and over and over and over and over. And then my 30s was like, I'm starting to figure this shit out. So my 40s are going to be, I got
it. Yeah, I got this shit.
Like, I kind of understand how this shit works now.
Are you starting to think more about health these days?
Of course, like all these things are better the way I approach health, whether that's mental, spiritual, physical health. It's in a way more achievable approach. Like it's just way better. I actually know how my body works now. So I know how to lose weight. I know how to gain weight. I know how to put on muscle. I know how to get more limber. I know my body better now.
Are you taking like more vitamins and stuff, drinking more water, doing more, checkups with the doc?
No, I get all mine through nutrition. Like I just like, really? I'm a vegetarian. So I eat well. You know what I'm saying? Like my issue is snacking. But if you talk about my core meals, I get all my vitamins.
So you can get all your vitamins and even enough protein? Because I always go back and forth about this. Can you get enough protein from being a vegan or vegetarian? Where do you get it from? Like black beans?
Yeah, beans. And you can get it a lot through vegetables too.
I've been hearing that a lot lately.
Like kale. Kale is really high in protein content, or like pistachios are high in protein content. So yeah.
So you don't miss meat at all?
No.
Pause. And how long have you been in it? Because I've been flirting with at least getting rid of red meat, just because I don't necessarily agree what they do. Like I'm an old nigga, man. I'm 41. I remember when chicken breast used to be like, like this big. Now you see some shit can't even fit on a whole plate. Like nigga, I need a knife and fork just for this piece of shit. So what was the thing that made you kind of go towards the vegetarian lifestyle? And do you eat fish still too, or just no?
Yeah. So I guess you could technically say I'm a pescatarian because I do fish when I want to.
Okay.
But I became a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever you want to call it, on the fly, bro. Like,
shit. Tell me
more. It wasn't even anything that was methodical, and it wasn't like this spiritual reckoning. Like, it was none of that shit. Long story short, a close family friend was passing away.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
And his family did a no meat fast for him.
Okay.
And I'm like family to them. So I did the no meat fast and I felt so good that I never went back. And that was 6.5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
So you ain't never just woke up in the cold sweat like, hey, give me a steak.
No. In fact, I kind of tested myself not too long after. So like 2 weeks after, we had like this little mini family reunion at my crib. And I probably grilled about 70 or 80 pieces of meat that day.
And you didn't succumb to the temptation?
I didn't even feel the urge. It was like, nah, because I was feeling so good not eating this shit that, like, all the groggy shit like you may feel in the day, like, or at least I felt.
Right.
Like, feeling groggy, feeling that brain fog, or having them times in the day where you just get real tired after eating this shit. All that shit went away. I became more productive. I became clear in my head.
Really?
Yeah, it cleared so much shit up for me. I can't say this is the same effect everyone's going to get. I'm just saying that's why I decided to quit. It felt that much better that I couldn't imagine going back and like eating.
I think I'm coming to it in a much more, some of my vegetarian friends have told me I'm probably going to end up being a vegetarian or a vegan soon because I just don't like meat. Like, of course I like meat, but just watching meat come off of a bone is like kind of grossing me the fuck out. Like, like when you eat some chicken and you don't really think about it because you ain't ate no chicken in years, but just think about the act of eating some chicken. It's kind of barbaric, or like a steak or something. It's like you're literally pulling meat off a bone, and that's been like grossing me out lately. And people have been like, yo, you might that's how it starts. They say when you start having like little markers like that. So I might be on my way to the.
Hey man, some people come to that conclusion with that too. For me, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing like that. I completely understand somebody wanting to eat a steak. Like I get it. I've eaten at some great steakhouses, and there's some amazing steaks in the world. Same with chicken. Shit, man. There's nothing. Yo, there's nothing that complements a salad like chicken.
Fuck a salad. Ain't nothing that compliments. I just eat chicken with chicken. You ever just eat chicken as the sides?
Yeah.
Let me get a 2 piece. What do you want for your size? 2 more pieces. That's what the
chicken nuggets and shit. That stuff used to be good. Like I get it. Like
I had some nuggets outside of your house today from Chick-fil-A.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm not tripping off that. Like I get it. Like people are carnivorous. It's cool. I just the way it made me feel was, you know, just so much better. I was like, I'm never going back to that shit.
Nah, I definitely feel. I think if nothing else, I'm gonna try to actually cut out the red meat because I just don't. All the stuff that they put in the animals, I wouldn't put that in my body. Like I don't take steroids. They give chicken steroids. Like the way they pump them for a lot of that shit, I'm just like, yeah, I gotta think about some things. So it is what it is. Let me shift gears a little bit for you on this one. Let me ask you because I know that we're both fathers. And we both have daughters, and you don't have to go into your daughter's ages or anything, but you know, my daughter's 15. She's driving.
10 and 8.
10 and 8. Okay. My daughter's driving. As a father, do you find that like how are you adjusting to your daughters getting older? Because for me, it's difficult. Like, bro, my daughter used to sit on my arm from here to on my forearm. That's how she was born. She was 7 pounds, 11 ounces. And just to see her grow from being a little kid to talking to like you just see them turn into these people and just it's like, bro, the whole experience of being a parent, it's like when you have children, that time is so small. And that's why I would even encourage you, like, because you still got 8 and 10 years respectively until they're recognized as adults by you know, by the world. But it's just this childhood that they have, man. It's like I'm almost just starting to get sad because I'm like, damn, man, she's not going to be a kid. Like she's literally going to be in college in 2 years. How are you dealing with raising 2 queens, man? Because it's tough, man. It's just hard seeing them grow. Like it's hard for me. Like how are you dealing with that?
I have a duality about this.
Okay.
One of them is, you know, just the girl dad kind of mindset, and then the other one is rooted from selfishness. So the girl dad side is like, I absolutely hate my girls growing up, to keep it fuck. Like I hate shit. Especially my 10-year-old, like, you know, her body's starting to change and shit.
Bro, it's like, my daughter, man. It's hard, bro.
You want them to be daddy's little girl forever because you just really enjoy it. And it's a great time in life. So that's that side of it. And just, you know, it's just really sober every single day that like I look at them. I co-parent with their mom. So it's kind of, you know, so, you know, it's kind of strange. I'm sure you experience this too. Like, my schedule with them is like 5 days, and then with me, 5 days with her.
Oh, okay.
So we, you know, we're you know, where I go 5 days without seeing them.
I've never heard of that setup. That's actually kind of genius.
Well, yeah.
5s and 5s?
Yeah, 5 and 5.
So you get some actual quality time, so nobody has to just get them on the weekends?
Exactly.
And then you get to switch off every other weekend if my math is right.
Okay. Well, it usually works out. You split the weekends throughout the year. You could have certain months where you're heavy on the weekends, and then certain months where you're heavy off on the weekends. So, and then, you know, we're cool, so we make all the, you know, alterations and shit to the schedule if we need to.
Right.
But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes when they come back from their moms, just from not seeing them for 5 days, you see like physical changes, like they're taller or they're a little bit bigger, or, you know what I'm saying? Just shit like that. So it is sobering, man. I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can.
That's the thing I'm really trying to tell you, bro. Like enjoy it. Cause like a lot of the time, you know, when Kiara was their age, you know, I was out here, I've been out here since 09, you know what I'm saying? So sacrifices got to be made. You know, sometimes as parents, I'm pretty sure you understand. So it's just like, even though she was in Sacramento, you know what I'm saying? And there was, you know, times that I had like that time goes fast, man. And that just lets me know it's just a marker for life. Like, brother, I remember seeing her for the first time on fucking ultrasound.
Yeah.
To now, seeing her driving a car. it's just, I don't know. I just wish that there was some way that I could stop it, slow it down, but I guess that there's
you can't, man. To see the other side is the selfish side. I mean, the selfish side is me looking at life being 39 and saying, yo, by the time I'm 50, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna be done.
50, I'm done raising kids. And of course, I mean, I'm still their dad and shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I gotta have a certain amount of presence, right?
Right.
But
just for that, where they're just, where they're children.
I can be a little bit more loose where it's like, yo, I'm out for a week. You're gonna be good because you're 18 or 19 or 20 years old. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to babysit you like that. You know what I'm saying? Or yo, I'm about to be out for 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
I'll see you.
I'll see you. I'll catch you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need something, holla at me. I told your uncle so-and-so to kind of keep an eye on you. So if anything is immediate, call him.
Right.
Here's the number.
Nah, and I think that because I don't know if your daughters are there. I mean, I've been around your daughters, a few times. I don't know, but I haven't been around them for like extended amounts of time. Like, do your daughters still do goofy shit? Like, do they still have little goofy, fun, little dumb shit they do with you? Like little goofy shit?
Yeah. Like, we still have all of that, but I know that time is coming.
And that's why I'm saying, like, my daughter, I think that she's just now hitting that now, like the little goofy shit, the little goofy games and fun handshakes. I'm just like, it's corny to her now. And that's going to be the moment where it's like, fuck, like, and that's just what I'm dealing with, man. But I just try to enjoy the time that, that she's still, a child, but it's just like, it kind of makes me want to start over and have another kid, which leads me to my next point. Ooh. And we were talking about this before we got on the air.
Ooh.
Am I, huh?
You gonna do that?
I don't know, man. I really want a son. You don't want a son, man? I really want a son, dog.
Sometimes you just go 0 for, man. Sometimes you swing and it's just not connecting today. This lifetime, it just ain't work out, bruh.
So that leads me to my next question.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about this before. We can have a continuation of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 41, bro. I'll be 42 in I'll be 42 in 7 months from today.
Wow.
I'll be 42. Have I run out of time to find true love, player? I'm starting to feel like I might not get it. Like, just brother to brother. Is it too late, or is there something I should be doing right now to maybe ensure that can happen later?
Nah, I feel like everything is happening later in life because people are starting to become more intelligent. Like, people know it's not, look 120, 150 years ago. They was having babies at fucking 13 and 14 years old.
They was.
You know what I'm saying? That was pretty normal and shit. So now, motherfuckers just smart and they're like, yo, I may not be ready to settle until I'm 45. And if that's the case, then maybe that's the case.
You say, okay, so this is okay, and this is what I'm getting to. So when we were offline before, guys, I'm gonna just bring you up to this. My brother Triune gave me some very, very good advice, and I want to share with what he said to me. And I want to go deeper into this, why you told me this, because I want to understand a little bit more. I agree with you. I just want to understand your perspective a little bit more. Mm-hmm. Triune is under the impression that I should just take the rest of the year and just focus on myself. Now, mind you, Triune knows a lot more about my personal life than a lot of you do, because I talked to him about real things. So he has a lot more information for him to say that. So let me just ask you to just delve a little bit deeper into that. First of all, why do you think that's a good idea for me? And second of all, have you ever had a moment in your life where you took some uninterrupted, dedicated time just for yourself?
Yeah. So the reason why I'm saying for you, why that makes sense is because you're just getting your footing. I think the worst thing as men we could do is just get out of a situation and then put yourself immediately under more pressure. Being in a relationship is pressure for men because we are the protectors, the professors,
the providers.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of duty as men in relationships. And so I think we should be taking those plunges when we're in a good mental space. You're just getting there. So you should spend time building up. Also, we understand that from a whole different angle that I won't mention, but you'll know what I'm talking about. You need to reestablish your base there, and you need to build your empire there. And I think it's going to take your full self to get there. And I don't think a relationship for you right now is gonna make that progress. I think that's gonna slow down that progress.
So how does one just spend time or become comfortable alone? Because I think that I have a fear of being alone. So when you did have that time in your life, however long it was, what type of things did you do to better yourself?
Well, I did have a time where I was alone. That was actually in 2015. So I got divorced in 2014. And all through 2015, through up when I met my fiance now, I spent my time alone. And I got a chance to go out and perform as much as I wanted to. I was gigging like a fucking maniac in 2015.
Probably was in the best shape of your life.
Oh my God, bro.
I remember back then that was
yeah, like I was in good shape. Out, man, bar wise, I was on a whole nother level. I was just really, being able to do me. And I think a lot of that was the reason why I met my fiance, and I met a woman of her caliber.
Expound on that a little bit more. So do you feel like when you're vibrating higher on your own personal level, you can attract higher vibrating individuals?
Of course, yeah. I feel like like-minded individuals meet like-minded individuals. Like if you're a person that's really into studies, how many times do you just meet people that just don't really think the way you do? You just kind of don't. It kind of just works with the law of attraction. So yeah, I do believe that. I do believe you attract what you are. So if you're more of an in-shape person, I'm pretty sure you're going to just find yourself around more in-shape people. You know what I mean?
Because I'm saying, man, the reason why I even asked that, man, because I feel like, do you ever do this in your life? Like, do you ever put that imaginary clock in your head? Like, I got it. Because, like, if you would have asked me when I was 10 years old, where I would be when I was 25 versus 30 versus 40, I would have been married by 25 with 2 kids. 30, I would have had 5. By 40, I would have had 8 and would have been a millionaire. Nothing seems to have gone the way that I wanted it to go. Is there any way to push those clocks out of our heads?
Yeah.
For those little expectations of things that we want, you know what I mean?
Yeah, accept your journey, man. I don't get what people don't understand about this shit. It's not about anybody else. It's never been about anybody else. It's always been about what Mike Jack said, the man in the mirror, period. That's always what it's been. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's been. And that's what it's always gonna be. You are your own hurdle. You are your own opponent, nigga, period. Every day you decide to eat whatever the fuck you're not supposed to be eating, you're doing that shit to you. Every day you decide to not go outside and get some vitamin D and sweat and fucking lose some calories, you're doing that shit to you.
And thank you for bringing that up. And that brings me to another point. I'm going to ask you this. Because I'm
like you said, these categories, by the way. I'm very human. I fall short.
Right. But like, even like how you said earlier today when we was talking when I was over at your crib, and you was like, "Doe, I could tell that you're way more into your fitness now than you have been in the past." Why do you think, as individuals and as human beings, we all know what it takes to get in shape? Yeah. Why do you think we overcomplicate it in our heads and make it so difficult when in its simplest form, we know if you want to lose weight, we know the foods you should eat. We know the foods you should limit. We know the workouts you should do, but we act as if we can't get it together. Why do you think that we do that? To the biggest investment any of us could have in our lives is our body. Because once that goes, you're done. So why do you feel like we do that? Because we know what to do. Why do you think it's so hard to do it?
It's because it fucking hurts. Nigga. That's simple. Who the fuck wants to feel sore all the fucking time?
Well, who the fuck wants to look like shit?
Hey,
so are you telling me we'd rather look like shit than to do the work?
Hey man, you used to be what?
486, I was banking on that personality.
Yeah, you have to fucking empathize with your former self, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I was a big nigga. Like I got up to 280 one
You
time.
can't
I
say
was
you're a big nigga around niggas like me. That
like,
280 was an after goal for me at some point. Put it like this: the last time I hit 280, Russell gave me 15 racks. So for
I'm
getting
just
to
saying,
280,
for
for
me,
getting down to 280.
bro, I got up to 282. I was like, my belly was wild, bro. Talk about dag bod,
That's
bro.
just so crazy how we all perceive things, because you looked at that as the worst shit ever in your life. And at 486, I would have killed a nigga to get to 280. It's just crazy how we process things in our mind,
Like
man.
right now, I kill a nigga to get the
Well, let
210.
me ask you this, man, because I don't want to keep you too long, man, but the conversation is great. You're definitely going to be a regular on the Doughboy 2.0 show.
Let's do it.
What do you forecast for the rest of the year? Like 2021, what does Triune look to accomplish? What does he see happening this year? And just if you know, and I know we don't like to count our eggs before the house, but what are some things that you would like to see happen in your life in the year of 2021?
I would like to see three major things happen.
Okay.
The first would be to get married.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get married this summer, and that's top of the list.
For sure.
Number two, get my well, these don't really, they're not like in order, but the wine and the coffee business. I want those to actually hit the market, and I want to start selling them.
Okay.
So if I can get that accomplished, I'm good. Everything else is kind of, I mean, I got other things too. Like, I mean,
right, but those are what's, you know, most
yeah, those are the main. I mean, well, there's another real big one. So I guess I can kind of announce it. Like, or
hey,
I'll just say,
exclusive.
I'll just say it. I'll just say it.
Okay.
So the combine, we have a partner now. I'm not gonna say who that partner is or what they do, but we have a partner now that's gonna be helping us with getting our music out into the world. And we've been sitting on this really amazing project called Off Season.
Okay.
And that's the project that Park the Whip is off of.
Okay.
So I'm super excited to get this to you guys in a larger fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in a larger capacity. And so I'm really excited for people to hear this music. I think people are really gonna rock with it. And so that's obvious, that's a priority, because I'm gonna be like, if brother COVID gets off our back, I'm gonna be outside.
I wish it would end already.
Yeah.
And no, just to even piggyback on what you're saying, man, the three things that I want to do, and it's very, very simple. Every time I even ask myself, it's very, very simple. I got three things that I want to do in 2021. You know what those three things are? Stay sober, stay sober, stay sober. Off and alcohol. Because I know how I'm rocking when I'm sober, and I know what I'm on when I'm not. So my biggest thing is, as long as I can stay sober and keep my head where it's supposed to be, I know all the other stuff will happen, because I was doing it at a high clip and I was drunk every night. So I'm just like, just stay sober though. Everything else will fall.
Yeah, if you can stay sober, all of your other decisions all make sense. Everything else makes sense. But yeah, you're right.
Definitely. So man, this has been another amazing episode of the Doughboy 2.0 show. Please plug all your socials and tell people where they can find you and all that good stuff.
I am Triune everywhere. So ITRIUNE everywhere.
Okay, and for sure, y'all can definitely check he and I out. We have a podcast with our brother EQ called Worst Take. You guys will be seeing that very, very, very soon. And you'll just see us. We'll be kicking around a bunch of ideas. So you will see both of us, together in a lot of these things, because that's my brother and we work well together. Like I said, I have been Doughboy.
I've been Triune.
We will check you guys next time. Peace.